What's going on, everybody out there? Chris here, back again with another weekly comic reads. The show where I talk about all the comics I'm reading from a specific week. This week, it's October 2nd, 2019, the first week of October. And there are a lot of books this week. I didn't even count them, so let's count them. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do you appreciate? 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24 books this week. We have 24 books to talk about in this weekly comic reads episode. I'm super excited to talk about all these books, but before I get into that, just a little plug. This is coming out sometime on Friday, and that is due largely to the fact that this has been one of the busiest weeks I've had in such a long time. It was a week of firsts, a lot of firsts. This past Tuesday, Frontline Live presents Comic Book Weekly. It started up, episode 1, Frontline Live, no longer happening on Tuesdays. We changed the show up to Comic Book Weekly. Well, it's Frontline Live presents Comic Book Weekly. New numbering, new format, new everything. It premiered this past Tuesday. If you missed out on it, definitely go check it out on comicfrontline.com. That's the way we're going to be doing our show each and every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern from now on, and we were super happy with the show. A lot of people came out, a lot of people had a lot of fun, a lot of people enjoyed the new format. Some people it's going to take a little bit of getting used to because it's very different from the old format we had, but you know what? That's a new and that's a first. And then not even 2 days later, AEW Dynamite premiered on TNT, and now you're watching this on Friday over on Comic Frontline once again, premiering another first. Episode 1 of AEW Aftershock, a show where Brant and I are going to be getting together each and every week and talking all news AEW, from Dynamite to anything that's come out of AEW for that week. Now, mostly right now, I'm sure AEW is only going to be doing Dynamite, so that's going to be the focal point of AEW Aftermath. We are not affiliated with AEW. The reason the show is called AEW Aftermath is because we're going to be talking about the aftermath of Dynamite and or the pay-per-view, as long as we are able to watch it. So those are a couple of plugs I wanted to throw out there before we got started with this week. And also we had a Chris and Brand show that we just did yesterday for all of you. That's Thursday night. We just did that. We had a fun time. We actually got rated by some comic book lurkers. We had a great time there as well. It's been a busy week, but it's been one of the best kinds of busy week for me. But I definitely did not want to let this week go by without doing a weekly comic reads, because there are a lot of really awesome books that are coming out this first week. So let's dive into them. As always, they're going to be in alphabetical order. And again, first week of October, October 2nd, 2019. Absolute Carnage, Immortal Hulk, number 1 or one shot, however you want to put it. In the last issue, I almost said episode, in the last issue of Absolute Carnage, the Venom symbiote separated from Eddie Brock because Eddie Brock wouldn't get the job done and bonded with Bruce Banner, aka the Immortal Hulk. This book, I guess, is going to be taking up right where that issue left off. I'm very excited to get my hands or get my eyes into this one shot. Absolute Carnage has been absolutely killing it for Marvel as far as events. We are getting close to the end, and sometimes you got to worry about how Marvel is going to end their big events. But I got to be honest, I have a very good feeling with Absolute Carnage. I trust Donny Cates, and I'm sure he's not going to let us down. But I'm really excited to get into this one shot. Batman issue number 80. Bane's taken over Gotham. Catwoman has brought Batman back. Now can they save Gotham from Bane? My one worry and my one reserve with this book, John Romita Jr. is the artist. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to like this arc very much. Or at least whatever issues John Romita Jr. is in. I'm sorry. I know there are some John Romita Jr. fans out there. I'm not a fan of his artwork. And that's definitely going to hurt this book. For me, at least, until we get through however many issues he's doing. Hopefully he won't be doing too many issues. No offense to anybody, again, who's a fan of John Romita Jr., John Romita Jr. himself. No offense, not my art style. The final issue, Batman TMNT Volume 3, issue number 6. The final battle between Batman and the Turtles versus Krang melded together with the Anti-Monitor. And there's a bunch of Elseworld Turtles and Elseworld Batmans, and now they have to stop Krang Anti-Monitor before he destroys the multiverse. Will they do it? I don't know. But I'll tell you this, I love the artwork in the book. I love the story in this book, and I'm hoping we get a volume 4. I really am, because I think that every time we get a Batman TMNT crossover, it's been nothing but spectacular. And we're going to be getting a TMNT Power Rangers crossover soon. That's going to be really cool as well. So I'm hoping we get more Batman, but I'm really excited to get into this last issue of Batman TMNT. Birthright issue number 40. This is the last issue until they go on their final break. There are only 10 issues left after this issue. Birthright is ending at issue 50. This sets the stage. This issue ends the last 10 issue arc, and it sets the stage for the final 10 issue arc. I'm really excited to see where they're going, because they're fighting, because Mikey's fighting Matisma, and she is one of the last 2 wizards. If anything happens to her, anything happens to Mikey's grandfather, that's it. We're talking Lore and Tyrannos are able to come through to Earth, and we're talking a possible all-out war. And this time around, Mikey was reduced to a child at the end of the last issue, so will he be able to fight Matisma, or is there a reason for all this? We'll have to find out as we get into this issue. I will tell you guys right now, Contagion issue number 1, I have already read it. I read it for the Chris and Brand show, and this is a series, this is the first issue that actually really surprised me. I figured this was Marvel's way of answering Deceased, or from DC Comics, you know, before Marvel Zombies. This is going to be a 1 issue each week for the next 5 weeks series where there is a contagion, and it's breaking out in Manhattan, and it's going to be up to the heroes in Manhattan to contain it and get rid of it. And I will say this first issue, without spoiling anything, I'm not going to spoil anything because this is only about the books I'm reading, not a review. Contagion surprised me. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely think when you go into your local comic shop, you should definitely give it a glance over. You might be surprised. I might actually, right now I'm reading Contagion digitally. If it continues to go in as strong as it's going, I might actually pick it up physically. Speaking of Deceased issue number 5. What can I say? Deceased has been a up and down series. The first couple issues I enjoyed. I feel like certain issues were a little bit lower for me. This issue I'm interested in seeing, especially because of the cover. Wonder Woman versus Superman. What's going to happen? Is there going to be a fight between Superman and Wonder Woman? I don't know. But this is the penultimate issue. There's only 1 issue after this one. And I'm really interested in seeing where Deceased goes. There are a couple of one-shots that are spinning out of this. A couple of... I don't know if they're thinking of doing a follow-up to it yet, but I've been enjoying Deceased. It's been... middle ground. I'm looking to see if this issue brings us above middle ground. Now, this next book actually was recommended to me by Cat Comic Uno, and that's Dead Eyes issue number 1, coming out of Image Comics. Now, when it comes to Image Comics, I always like to try out issue number 1s because you never know what you're going to find when it comes to Image. Image has some really strong series that come out of their brands. So when Cat recommended Dead Eyes and I saw it was in issue number 1, I'm like, yeah, I gotta try it, especially because it's being recommended now. Definitely have to give it a shot. So, Dead Eyes issue number 1 is now in my read pile. Doctor Strange, issue number 20. Doctor Strange's hands are now healed. He became the Sorcerer Supreme because he had that accident which ruined his hands. He no longer could be a surgeon, so he went on his quest and became the Doctor Strange we all know and love today, the Sorcerer Supreme, like I just said. But now he has his hands back. What does that mean for Doctor Strange? What future does that hold for Doctor Strange? And what are the ramifications of that? Because I believe the book, in the last issue, it was mentioned, you use this book, there's going to be a cost to it. So what's the cost? Are we going to find out in this issue? I don't know, but I'm really excited to find out. Fantastic Four issue number 15. I've been interested in, I think I'm 1 or 2 issues behind. No, I caught up to Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four decided to go off on another space journey at the end of the last issue. And now this is going to be where they go. And the cover shows they're on a, looks like they're on a new planet, so they're now back in space. So I'm interested in seeing where Fantastic Four is going next. So they're off-world right now. And with Contagion going on at the same time as this issue, though, it's kind of funny because Contagion, the Fantastic Four, were on Earth. This book, they're out in space. I'll have to wait and see what happens. I had to get this book. I had to read it, especially after reading the one-shot that came out of Absolute Carnage, and that's Ghost Rider issue number 1. The Absolute Carnage one-shot, while still connected to Absolute Carnage, also connected to Ghost Rider issue number 1. I'm very interested in to see where Ghost Rider issue number 1 goes, because Johnny Blaze has taken over as the King of Hell. So what is this Ghost Rider? Is it going to involve all the other Ghost Riders we saw during the Absolute Carnage one-shot? Is there going to be a new Ghost Rider? That looks like Johnny Blaze on the cover. Is Johnny Blaze coming back to Earth? I don't know. I got to try it out. I've tried Ghost Rider before, and I'm not going to lie, it didn't work out before. So we'll see if it works out this time. Moving on, House of X issue number 6. The final issue of House of X. Thank God. I've been struggling through the last couple of issues of House M Powers of 10. House of X Powers of 10. So I'm really excited to kind of get through this now and get into the new X-Men status quo. We've got X-Men coming out. We've got X-Force coming. We've got so many books that are coming out after House and Powers that I honestly would like to just get through these minis. And this is the last part to House. That means only Powers of 10 are left. I'm just excited to get through these minis and get into the new X-Men. So that's really all I could say when it comes to House of X. It's going to take a couple of reads to get through it, that's for sure. Justice League issue number 33, continuing through the year of the villains. And yeah, I'm not looking forward to the dialogue heavy ness of this book, but Justice League has been pretty strong. Again, it's the epicenter of the year of the villain. So if you've been following this year, if you're going to be following this year-long event coming out of DC Comics, you're absolutely going to be reading Justice League right now. So yeah, I'm reading Justice League right now. Another book. These next two books are, it's going to be like, but I'm reading it. I don't know why I put this here, but I guess because I read issue 1, and that's Legion of Superheroes Millennium, issue number 2. I did not like Millennium issue number 1. I am not planning on picking up Legion of Superheroes issue number 1 just because I am not a fan of the direction they're going with Legion of Superheroes. For multiple reasons. I know a lot of people are liking the direction Legion of Superheroes is going for one reason or another. Me personally, I feel like Brian Michael Bendis is changing way too much with Legion, and it just doesn't feel like a Legion of Superheroes book to me. To some people, maybe this is what they want. For me, this is going to be a hard pass. The only reason I got issue number 2 again is because I read issue number 1, so I'd like to see how it ends. I don't think it's going to change my opinion and make me pick up Legion of Superhero issue number 1. However, will I look through issue number 1? Probably, but I can already tell that I know the direction Brian Michael Bendis wants to go with Legion of Superheroes. And I haven't been really agreeing with Brian Michael Bendis' writing on a lot of books lately, so I might just save myself when it comes to Legion of Superheroes and just choose not to. Lois Lane, issue number 4. Lois Lane has been a very weak miniseries for me as well. Again, I'm reading it because I read everything Superman. That might be changing soon. I know that Lois Lane is tying into something big that's going to be going on in Superman very soon. We'll have to wait and see where that goes as well, but I have not been truly enjoying Lois Lane either. Marvel Comics 1001, the follow-up to Marvel Comics 1000. More stories, one page per stories. Yeah, continuing from 1000, I guess they had a lot more stories they wanted to tell. So here's 1001, and here's looking forward to it. This time around, I decided not to wait, and I just picked up a physical copy of 1001 because I picked up a physical copy of 1000 because it surprised me, and I was actually happy with it. So let's try 1001. But if you didn't like 1000, you more than likely are not going to like 1001. Some number ones. We got a couple of number ones from Image Comics once again. Nomen Omen, issue number 1. It's an issue number 1. The artwork looks really interesting. The story premise looks interesting, so I decided to give it a read. So there's yet again another issue number 1 coming out of Image Comics. Again, I think this is around the time of year where Image releases a lot of number 1s. I mean, New York Comic Con is this weekend, so yeah, I'm going to check out Nomen Omen issue number 1, and we'll see if I talk about it on Comic Book Weekly, but I will be checking out issue number 1. I like the artwork. Definitely look into it. SmackDown 20th Anniversary issue number 1. For obvious reasons, I've read all the Boom Studios WWE books, and this is just in time for SmackDown's big move to Fox on Friday, so definitely wanted to pick this up. I actually did discuss this on the Chris and Brand show yesterday, so look, if you would like to see our discussion about that, definitely check it out. But yeah, I decided to read the newest WWE book, and it looks like it's going to be a ongoing or mini maxi. We don't know yet, but there definitely is another issue. I was interested. I was curious. Spider-Verse issue number 1. So I put it in my read pile this week. I thought this was Miles from Hour 616. Rumors are it's Miles from the Spider-Verse movie. I don't know. So I'm going to read it and check it out and see if I enjoy it. If I enjoy it, I'll continue it. It's Miles going through the multiverse or the Spider-Verse. So we'll see. We'll see where this book goes. Only a couple more books to go. We have Superman Up in the Sky, issue number 4, for those people, such as myself, that do not have a Walmart, did not get the books from Walmart. This basically gives you the Superman story, the new story that was premiered in those Walmart exclusive books. So again, I'm buying this to collect the physical news story that came out of the Walmart magazines exclusively. Now, DC's releasing them for all of us. The Dreaming, issue number 14. I've been enjoying The Dreaming. I'm a little bit behind on The Dreaming, though, so I don't know where this issue is yet, because I think I'm about 2 or 3 issues behind. The Dreaming, Books of Magic are my 2 favorites right now coming out of the Sandman universe. John Constantine will be joining, or Hellfire, I should say, will be joining the Sandman universe soon. I probably will be checking it out for the first issue, see if I enjoy it. We'll see where it goes. I don't know, but The Dreaming is definitely my second favorite book out of the Sandman universe. New issue number 1, new company for me, and that is Vampire State Building, issue number 1 out of A Blaze Comics. I am very interested. It's Charlie Adlard art. Of course, I'm going to be interested. I'm Walking Dead. So, I'm interested in reading this book. A lot of people are talking about it. I know Mike Spiderslayer got it in his haul. There's a lot of hype behind this book, so I definitely wanted to get my hands on an issue. As a matter of fact, unfortunately though, while this is in my weekly comic reads for this week, I am actually going to be getting it next week. I ended up ordering a special cover, and that special cover doesn't get released until next Wednesday from Midtown. So while it did come out this week and it is in my read pile, I probably won't be reading it until at least next week. And finally, Young Justice issue number 9. They're in the Crime Syndicate universe right now, and they're about to face the Young Justice from the Crime Syndicate. So it's like Young Injustice, you could say. Brian Michael Bendis, this is a hit or miss series for me. Some issues I enjoy, some issues I don't. I know in this issue we're getting the backstory for Teen Lantern, the one character I could care less about in this entire series. Let's see if this actually changes my mind about her. I don't know if it will, but let's see if it changes my mind anyway. Who knows? It might. I don't think so, but it might. Young Justice, like I said, I just want to get through this origin / first arc and get them back in the main DC universe doing what Young Justice does best. However, Brian Michael Bendis already has a bunch of other plans with a bunch of the characters he also created, adding to the team. So I don't know where Brian's going with this. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm just happy to have Connor back at this point. So maybe, hopefully, we'll get a Superboy book out of this at some point that isn't written by Brian Michael Bendis. But probably if we do get a Superboy book, it will be written by Brian Michael Bendis, because he's literally writing everything Superman related, or controlling it at least. So we'll have to wait and see, but I just would like to see Young Justice back on the main DC universe and getting back to business. You know, I would love to see when everybody remembers Young Justice, what impact that has, like with Superman and with everyone else, because so far Superman still doesn't remember about Connor. So it'll be interesting to see when Connor and Superman get back together, if it'll change the DC universe again like it did when Superman merged with the New 52 Superman and the whole timeline changed. It'll be interesting to see that. But I believe this version or this moment happens after Doomsday Clock. So I don't know if it'll change the universe again or if Superman will just remember Connor and be like, oh man, it's great to see you again. We'll have to wait and see. But with that, that is it for this episode of the Weekly Comic Reads. Feel free to let me know in the comments below what books you picked up this week, what books you're reading this week. If you have any recommendations, always feel free to make those recommendations in the comments below. I'm going to try to get these books read. It's New York Comic Con weekend. I'd love to get some, I would love to get the spotlight out for the first time. I wanted to do it last weekend. Didn't happen. Last weekend was a insane weekend, but not in a good way. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to do the spotlight then. I would like to do it this weekend, but with all the crazy stuff going on with New York Comic Con, I don't want to promise anything. I do, however, want to get this Spotlight series started because that is a series that I want to do for the channel. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm hoping that I get most of my books read and I'll be able to do some type of a Spotlight series for all of you this Sunday. So stay tuned. Definitely go check out AEW Aftershock. Go check out Comic Book Weekly. Both shows will be on Comic Frontline at or around the time this video is live. Comic Book Weekly is, I'm not sure if I'm going to be posting this video before AEW Aftershock, but it will be premiering, so if you want to go watch it live, definitely go check it out on comicfrontline.com. As always, links in the description below for all social media connected to Dark Avenger C86, as well as the other channels I work on. But you can just type in shootingstaruniverse.com and everything I do is right there. I'm going to be getting back to writing some exclusive posts soon. Right now, we are very focused on the Kickstarter. If you haven't backed the Kickstarter yet, you can go on Kickstarter.com, type in Celestial Falcon, you'll find it. We are trying to get to our goal at this point. We would love to go beyond our goal. There's still, at the time of this recording, I believe 5 days left. Definitely go out. And if you haven't pledged already, definitely do. If you can't pledge, that's okay. Share the Kickstarter with everybody you know, and maybe somebody out there will want to pledge. The book's already done. All we need to do is send it to print. So if this Kickstarter is successfully funded, you will be getting your books as soon as we get them from the printer. So definitely something you want to look into. We are very passionate about Celestial Falcon. I'm very passionate about it. Brant is. Lisa is. Last Number Press is. And we want to get this deluxe edition out to all of our readers out there because it's definitely a book you're not going to want to miss. And issue number 2 is right around the corner, 2020. It's coming, and it's coming soon. Take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting, and I'll see all of you really soon in the next video.